Hello and welcome to the Ethical Affiliates, episode 16. Hello, Ida. How are you?
Ah, I'm good. Run off my feet as per
Right,
usual. How are you?
I'm well. Let's get cracking.
Let's get crack-a-lacking.
We have a special guest today, André
Mm,
Marvão. And
yes.
as an introduction, he sent me some notes. So I'm going to read it out so everyone knows who he
Beautiful.
is.
Thank you.
And so André was working 60 to 70 hours per week in a job and had
Hmm.
health issues due to high stress levels, which made him start looking for alternatives. And that was when he jumped online and found affiliate marketing in August 2019. So he's been in it 5 years now. He was able to quit his 9 to 5 job and transition into full time online and cross six figures in affiliate sales. After achieving the six-figure mark, he started coaching affiliate marketers to go from $500 to $2,500 affiliate commissions without funnels, ads, or a big following. And that has been his focus for the last couple of years.
That's amazing.
And
Wow.
are you still on? Oh, yes, there you are.
I'm here. I'm here. I'm here.
So let's get Andre on. He's in the waiting room. And
Beautiful.
how do I do? There you go. Hello, Andre.
Andre, thank you so much for your time. How you doing?
His audio is disconnecting. There he is.
Hello,
Hello,
Hey,
my friend.
Andre.
how are you?
Very
Good. How
well.
are
We're both very
you?
well. I've
Awesome.
just I've just read out your bio that you sent me,
Yeah,
so people kind of know what you're about. But whereabouts are you located, Andre? Are you in Portugal? Is that right?
yeah, Lisbon.
Yeah. And you're
Yeah, in Lisbon.
Portuguese. You've been lived there your whole
Yeah,
life.
yeah, I'm Portuguese. I was born here, and I've been here in my whole life. Yeah.
Awesome.
Beautiful. What made you start getting into affiliate marketing? What was your whole thing?
So I was working 60, 70 hours a week as an IT
Mhm.
consultant, and I had health issues because of high stress levels. So when that happened, I started reflecting about my life and started thinking about what to do because I started thinking, should I stay here and keep sacrificing my health to build someone else's dreams? Should I do something else? So that's when I started really exploring different alternatives. And I jumped online, started searching on Google how to make money online. And that's how I started exploring this world. The first thing I tried was Forex trading. I tried a bit of Forex trading for a month. I didn't like it. And after that, I kept exploring different business models and I found affiliate marketing through Brian Brewer. You probably heard about him on
Hmm.
YouTube. That was the first person that I started following when it comes to affiliate marketing. Started learning from YouTube, and that's how I got into affiliate marketing. And I've been doing this since 2019.
Wow. And how have you found it? Like, what was your journey when you first started to now? Tell us a
So
bit about that.
at the beginning, it was a struggle. The first few
Mm,
months, I the mindset I jumped into this with was not investing in myself and trying to figure out everything for free. So the first few months were me on YouTube, just trying the methods I was learning on YouTube, not investing in myself and
mm,
struggling. And after 3, 4 months of struggle of just trying free methods from YouTube, I started thinking, okay, maybe I should invest in some training to try to accelerate my results because this is not working. So that was
mhm.
when I invested in my first course. It was a $7 program, and
Did you say
that was from
$7 as in
yeah
seven?
7 from Legendary
Okay.
Marketer. You
Hmm.
probably heard about it.
Yeah, I know that one.
That yeah, that was my first course in 2019. I took their challenge, and that was when I started diving into the funnels, the paid ads. So I started exploring all of that. And as I had an IT background because I was an IT consultant, I loved that part. Okay, so it was my comfort zone to spend time on the tech, building funnels, figuring out the ad platforms, all of that. So I spent a lot of time on that, and
Yeah.
I started making some low ticket sales, but I ended up spending a lot of money on ads without profit. And so it was a lot of struggle there with that part as well. And then after some time of struggle, I started following some people on Facebook, and I started seeing what they were doing, and there was one person specifically that I started following, which was Jacob Carries, and I think Tim knows who he is.
Yep,
because he's Australian. Yep. So I started following Jacob Carries and seeing the results that his students were getting, and I started asking questions to his students and seeing what they were doing. So that was when I started diving into the Facebook organic world, and I started simplifying what I was doing. I ended up investing in Jacob's program, and I worked with Jacob for a few years. But that was when I shifted my approach, because at the beginning it was just funnels, tech, ads. I tried also to be on 3 platforms at the same time at the beginning: Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. So I was complicating the process so much. And with Jacob and the students, and what I started learning was to simplify things and to focus on one thing, and to focus on free traffic and building a brand. So that was when I started focusing on Facebook organic. And from that point, things started to work better. I started building my brand on Facebook, growing my audience. I started making more low ticket sales. Then I started realizing the power of high ticket, promoting high ticket products, so products that pay 500 plus in commissions. And when I started promoting more expensive stuff was when things started to grow.
That's amazing. How
Yeah.
long did that take you to get from like over how many years, and what was one of the key things that you learned during your training period, I guess, for want of a better word?
You mean in the Facebook organic world? So from Jacob?
Yes, yeah.
So I learned multiple lessons during that period, but one big lesson was the power of simplicity. Every time I complicated in my journey, I saw myself slowing my results. Every time I simplified what I was doing, I saw myself growing more. So
Wow.
at the beginning with the funnels, there was a point where I had like 10, 15 funnels at the same time trying to promote multiple different products. So I was complicating so much. Then when I started with the platforms also, I was doing 3 platforms at the same time. So the simplicity lesson was a big one, because when I started simplifying and focusing just on one thing, especially at the beginning when I had very limited time because of my job, that was too much, and I was overwhelmed with too much to do. So when I started simplifying and doing less, I started seeing my skills developing faster, because I was able to do more repetitions of specific tasks. For example, talking to people in Messenger. If I didn't have 10 tasks to do in a day and I only had 3, I was able to spend more time talking to people. And by me spending more time talking to people, I was able to develop that skill faster. Okay, so that's one of the biggest lessons I learned, was the power of simplification, and not overwhelming myself with multiple tasks to do every day, and keeping things simple, because that allows me to accelerate my growth in my skill development. Another one was to, when I want to add the second platform, first make the first platform work. Okay, and that's the approach I took in the last few years. Was I focused on Facebook from that point, and as when I started getting consistent results on Facebook, and I kept doing Facebook for 3 years, only Facebook. And last year I added YouTube to my business, because the Facebook process was working well. That was when I added the second platform to amplify results. Okay, that was another big one, was to focus on one thing until it's working consistently. And that's a mistake I see a lot of people doing, is they try to start with multiple platforms at the same time, and instead of becoming a master of one platform, they are trying to do 3 things at the same time, so it's harder for them to grow. But if you focus on one thing and you focus on really understanding the process and how things work in that platform, you are able to grow faster. And then when you add it makes more sense to add a second platform when the first one is already working, and you are using the second platform to amplify results that you are getting in the first one. So what I do with my YouTube channel is to bring people to my Facebook process that is already working, okay, to my Facebook group. So
Right.
I have my Facebook process with my profile, my group, and Messenger. And with YouTube, I'm sending more people to this process by sending them to my Facebook group. So it's a way to amplify what I'm already doing. Okay.
So how long have you had the group for, or how long after you really got solid on Facebook did you start the group?
My group, I started beginning of 2020. So I started the group in 2020, but I was not active with it right away. Okay, so I started it, but not paying too much attention to it. I started really using the group mid-2020. That was when it started becoming a big part of my strategy. And that was when I started doing Facebook Lives inside the group.
Inside the group. And the group, I mean, because obviously I follow you, you still hold on to that strategy as being very valuable, don't you? You're always pushing people to move into a group. That's your strategy.
Yeah. So
go on.
So my strategy has four steps, basically. The strategy on Facebook. The first step is to grow my audience on my Facebook profile by adding people as friends. Okay, that's my audience growth strategy. And then when people are in my Facebook profile, I do two things. I produce content and I have conversations, okay, on the profile. The goal of the content and the conversation on the profile is to move people to my group. Okay, that's my goal. With everything I'm doing on the profile is to move people to my group. Then in the group is where I accelerate the nurturing process by doing these Facebook Lives. Because what I started seeing when I started testing the lives was that people started trusting me much faster when they started seeing me in a video instead of just reading content. So as I started seeing that trust building process being accelerated, I started doing lives consistently, and that was a big part of my process, was sending people to my group so they start consuming my live videos. And then that step 3 is the group with live videos, and step 4 is the messenger conversations, then to convert these leads that I have in my group that already start trusting me because of the live videos into sales. And in this conversation, I identify if I have something that can help them solve the problems they have and achieve the results they want. So that's the 4-step process: grow audience with adding friends to the profile, generating leads from the profile to the group through content and messenger, lives in the group, and then messenger to close sales.
It's amazing because you've been consistently doing the same thing pretty well for 4 or 5 years, 4 years perhaps, the same process all the way through and sticking to it. I admire your willpower, because I know that, well, speaking personally, I'm on Instagram and Instagram and Facebook, but it's so easy to jump around on different profiles and different platforms and scatter your direction. In some ways, the platforms are actually you have to do quite different things on each one now. And so that's a whole, repurposing is a valid thing. I get that, but it's not enough really. So you've got to spend a lot of time just on one platform and a lot of time on another platform. And you're only one person. Well, certainly when you're starting.
Yeah, because it's not just repurposing the content, it adds additional tasks and additional things that you need to figure out. For example, YouTube, I had to learn SEO, I had to learn thumbnails, I had to learn how to write the title. So there were so many things that I had to learn just by adding a second platform to my business. So it's not just repurposing content. There are a lot of things that we need to figure out.
Yeah, people shouldn't especially people starting, shouldn't underestimate the amount of work involved in just simply changing a platform. And all the whole new things and the different size. I mean, just something simple like the different formats, the different sizes, things like that. And of course, it changes every day, so that makes it equally complicated.
That's why I recommend simplicity.
Yeah. So you're not. I probably shouldn't mention this, but you're obviously not on TikTok. Not even. Do you consider TikTok a valid platform for something like what you've been doing? No.
Not right now, because I don't plan on adding any other platforms to my business. I want to keep learning the YouTube game, because there's a lot to learn, and my channel is still small. It has 300 subscribers. So because YouTube takes a long time to grow, so I'm still learning the YouTube game, and I don't plan on adding any other platform to my business right now. Yeah.
And go on, Ida.
No, go.
No, I was just going to say just briefly, how has it changed? Has social media selling, as some people call it, how has that changed in the last couple of years? How have you found it changing since COVID, while COVID happened and after that?
I didn't understand the question. Sorry, what changed?
In what ways has your business changed since perhaps the start of COVID even and after COVID?
Okay. So what I noticed with COVID, because I started my business before COVID, and what I saw with COVID was more interest from people in make money online opportunities. So I didn't see COVID affecting anything. I saw the opposite. I saw COVID bringing more people to the online space and more people exploring the type of opportunities that I promote. So I start, and it was not just myself. I talk with a lot of people daily, and a lot of people noticed an increase in sales and demand with COVID.
Yeah.
Because people were at home, they were looking for different ways to make money, and that led to an increase in sales.
Yeah. Yeah. Excellent.
So
Go on,
when
Ida.
you started first with your affiliate marketing business, did you have any experience on social media or any type of marketing experience?
Zero. I was an IT consultant. I didn't use social media too much. I was not active on social media, so I started from zero without any marketing, any sales experience.
Amazing. So I want to hear a little bit about that. So tell me what it was like for you to make such a bold choice in a time where, you know, this industry was still sort of just emerging, you know, before COVID. So how did you find that? What were some of your challenges, some of the mental hurdles you had to overcome?
It was not easy, but what kept me going was always the painful situation I was in because of my health issues. So all these challenges that I faced in starting my business, I was always thinking, okay, but if I don't do this, I need to continue in my job and continue working in that environment that is causing me health issues. So that was what kept me going always, every time I had a challenge. So it was a lot of reading. At the beginning, I had to read and change my mindset a lot about money, okay, because I came from a middle class family, so we are used to saving money, not investing. So all those beliefs that we have from society about money, and I had to shift a lot of my way of thinking when it comes to money. I had to learn about sales because that was something that I didn't even see myself doing before I started my business. I had to learn marketing. So that came a lot from reading a lot of books. And then when I started investing in myself, when I started realizing the power of investing and I started seeing results from my smaller investments, I started going big on investing in myself. And in the last few years, I've invested over 25K in myself. So I've been investing heavily in developing skills and learning. Okay. So it was not easy, and I had to learn everything from scratch. But what kept me going was my strong why that I had with my job, my health issues.
So that was really your driving force. You like
Yeah,
basically, I have to do this, or my job's going to kill me.
yeah,
Is
Back
that
to IT.
basically?
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. Gosh, isn't it interesting though, the very industry that you broke away from is actually the industry that's supporting what you're doing now, essentially,
yeah,
with
yeah,
so
yeah,
it's
yeah,
nice. It must be interesting for you to be on the other side of that, where you're actually reaping the benefits of what you used to do in IT, creating all of these possibilities. So at what point did you kind of realize that okay, this is actually going somewhere? When, like, at what point did you sort of start to gain momentum and turn the corner? Because a lot of people get stuck in that beginning phase, and you know, you hadn't had any sales or marketing experience, no online presence. What were some of the things that you did, especially with your lives, to raise your profile and to attract those people?
And keep going. Yeah.
A big, I think a trait that helped me a lot was my consistency, because I showed up every single day to grow my friends list, to produce content, to talk to people. And that's something that a lot of people struggle with, is staying consistent for a long period of time, even when they are not seeing results. And um, the way I now look at it is focusing on, or my goal is not the sale, my goal is showing up to improve my skills and to become a better version of myself. And the results come naturally as a result of that, of my growth as a person. So that's, for anyone watching, that's what I would recommend, is that you focus on improving your skills and showing up and building those traits of focus, consistency, patience, because those are the things that will lead to results. So that's what I would focus on, is because results and growth financially happens when we develop our skills and we can deliver value to the market. Okay, because people buy from us when they get value from us. If we don't have any value to offer to people, the market is not going to pay for what we know and for the experience that we have to offer. So it's all about developing our skills and stacking those experiences. And when you start developing your skills, and you don't need to be the expert to help people and to be able to have people following you. Okay, so when I started, the approach I took was always learning, doing, teaching. So these 3 steps: learn, do, teach. So I learned something, I started implementing that thing in my business, and then I started teaching what I was doing in my business to help people behind me in the journey. So that was how I started increasing my knowledge and my experience, and being able to help others was by always learning, doing, and teaching my experience and what I was doing, and sharing my mistakes, sharing what was working, sharing what was not working. And another key of that is having people in my audience who are behind me in the journey. So the people I was adding as friends were always people who were behind me in the journey. So if I had 2 months of experience, I was adding someone who was starting today or starting this week, because that way I had knowledge that they didn't have, and I had experience that I could share with them.
Yeah.
Okay.
So how would you discern that? So would you go, when you would, what was one of your strategies when you were adding people to your friends list? Because it is about the types of people and your niche market. So what was your approach with that?
So how I add friends is I go to Facebook groups where I know my target customer is. Okay, so it's about understanding your target.
That. Yeah.
Yeah, about understanding your target customer. So you can understand what are the places on Facebook where they are hanging out, and then going to those places. And every time I go to add friends, I check their profiles and I see if they look like someone I want to add as friends. Okay, so checking their profile. For example, when I was focusing more on adding beginners, I was adding people who didn't have anything about field marketing on their profiles. That was one of the ways I was seeing if they were just starting. Also going to groups about affiliate marketing for beginners, affiliate marketing, things like that. So is going to the group. I was and I am still going to the members tab and seeing the list of members of the group and checking every profile, seeing their country, because I focus on English speaking countries. Seeing if they don't have anything on their profile to see if they look like someone who is just starting. So is having those filters in place when you are checking profiles to make sure that you have the right people in your audience, and that saves you time after they accept the friend request, because you don't need to spend time in Messenger with the wrong people. And
Yes.
So it takes a bit more time up front, but it saves time after they accept the friend request.
It's part of the setting up of your business, really, isn't it? So once you figured out that strategy, how long before you started seeing some results? And sorry, there's 2 questions here. How long before you started seeing results, and what were your challenges with messaging people? Like what were some of the challenges you faced with messaging?
So my first sale I made end of 2019, my first low ticket sale. And then I changed to Facebook around beginning of 2020, February, March. That was when I started focusing really on Facebook. And after a few months, so mid 2020, I was making consistent sales, consistent high ticket sales. That was when I started learning more about the high ticket game. And mid 2020 was when I started making more consistent sales, and I was able to quit my job after a few months, because here in Portugal the salaries, I was making 1K a month in my job. Okay, because the cost of living is very low in Portugal, so the salaries are not high. Okay, compared to the US, for example. So for me to be able to quit my job, I was making 2-3K a month in my business, so I was able to quit my job and have my expenses paid. So mid 2020 was when I quit my job. And your question was about challenges in messaging people, right?
Mm-hmm. Correct. Yeah.
So I had a lot of mindset issues, for example, fear of rejection. When people didn't respond to my message, for example, I had these thoughts of I'm not good enough, I'm not being able to do this correctly. So I had a lot of mindset issues and imposter syndrome that I had to work on and overcome. So there was a lot of work I had to do. For example, when I presented an offer and people said no, I was getting in my head and thinking I'm not good enough. People don't want to buy from me. So all these beliefs and thoughts that come to our minds, and I had to do a lot of work in understanding that my job is to show up and do the input, which is to start the conversation, to present the offer. And if people respond or not, or if people say yes or no to the offer, it's out of my control. So that was a big lesson in my journey, was focusing on the things I can control and on the actions that I can do. So I show up, I start the conversation, I send the first message. If people respond or not, that has nothing to do with my self-worth and with me being good enough or not. It has to do with them being busy or whatever the reason is for them not to respond. But I had to train myself to think that way. When I was presenting the offer, my job is to show up and present the offer. If people say yes or no, it has nothing to do with my worth as a person and me being good enough or not. It just means that it's not the right time, or they don't have the money, or whatever it is. Okay, so I had to train myself a lot in that part, in the mindset part in Messenger.
So, sorry, Tim, I'm sure you've got a question. I don't mean to take over. With your Facebook profile, is it a personal one that you turned professional, or is it just business?
Professional, personal profile that is in professional mode.
So how did you cope? Because what I'm finding is I'm getting a lot of friend requests and my inbox is flooded with messages of people trying to sell me things. How did you manage that? Was that an issue that you had, having to filter through?
Yeah,
that?
I don't accept requests. I don't accept friend requests.
Okay, so that's just a blanket rule that you have. You don't accept friend requests.
Yeah, because
okay, I like that. That's good.
When people send you a friend request, their goal is to bring you to their audience, for them to nurture you and sell you something. That's what I've seen by accepting a lot of friend requests. So my goal is to bring people to my audience who are my target customers. So I prefer focusing on sending friend requests myself from sources where I know my target customers are. And that way I make sure that I have the right people in my audience. So every time I accepted friend requests, I saw myself wasting a lot of time with being pitched by people asking a lot of questions and then presenting an offer. So what I saw is that 90% of those people were not my target customers. So I stopped accepting friend requests, and that's what I recommend to my clients and to everyone that asks me that question, and to focus on sending friend requests yourself.
Well, that's how you control the volume, number one, and the type of customers. That's amazing. Tim, do you have any questions that you want to add?
Yeah. Well, I think you've answered one of them, which is well, maybe you can briefly just go back and then I'll answer my full question, which the first one is, you coach a lot of people, and I'm curious, what's the thing that really holds people back at the start? Like, what's the one thing that you see consistently, if there is something like that?
Showing up and saying consistency is a big one. Okay, because there are a lot of people who buy programs and never do anything with them. Okay, even people who pay for a high ticket coaching program, a lot of people never start. Okay, and that comes from a lot of things. For example, I've had people tell me that they have their family saying that affiliate marketing is a scam, and that stops them from getting started. And I had that too at the beginning of my journey. I had my father telling me, focus on your job, that's a scam, that doesn't work, you are crazy. I heard these words from my father when I was starting my business. So I know this is not easy to hear, but we need to, so the pain of regret of not starting will be worse than the pain of ignoring the other people's opinions right now. So that's the way I approached it when I was starting, was Okay, but if I don't do anything, probably I will regret, and that will be worse than ignoring my father's words right now. So that's a big one that stops people, is other people's opinions. For example, on Facebook, one that you see a lot is them not wanting to post on their Facebook profiles because of what their family is going to think, of what their friends are going to
That's a
think.
big one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Being consistent, without, so that mindset work that I did, with focusing on my inputs and detaching from the outcome, that's something that a lot of people struggle with, is showing up and doing the work regardless of what's happening to their sales. Because, and that's why I don't like setting goals around income. I like setting goals around actions, because a lot of people set goals around income, and when they don't achieve that income, they get demotivated and they give up. But if you set your goals around actions and you do those actions and you check those boxes every day, you see that you are making what you are doing what you are supposed to do. So you are checking those boxes, and that helps you stay in a positive mindset to keep going. Because the actions we control, the sales we don't control. We control to the point where we present the offer, but from that point is out of our control if people say yes or no. So it's focusing always on the things we can control and setting goals around those things instead of things we don't control. That's a big one that helped me with consistency. Lack of focus is another one that people that leads people to not being able to get results, is trying to be everywhere and do everything. And not simplifying. And I've seen that in my journey, and I see that with multiple people. They try to be on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and YouTube and Pinterest and everything at the same time. And then, and especially if they are working in a 9-to-5 job and they have limited time, that can really slow them down in being able to achieve results. Those are a few ones that I see a lot. Yeah.
Interesting. Wow. Well, I could keep asking questions, but probably my last one is about actually low ticket and high ticket affiliate marketing. You call high ticket from $500 up. Is that what I heard you say? Something like that?
500 plus commissions. Yeah. So
Yeah,
1K
500 plus
price.
commissions, right. So would you recommend, or do you advise in all the people you coach, they start with something like that, or are you still going down the, not the $7, but the $49 thing to start off, or you're just talking about high ticket affiliate marketing all the time now?
I recommend iTicket to anyone starting. Of course, selling low ticket, selling iTicket requires different skills that you need to develop. For example, the conversation you need to have better skills in the conversation, but those skills anyone can develop. Because low ticket, even if you don't know how to ask questions in the conversation, you can still make low ticket sales from a piece of content or whatever. But iTicket sales, people need to have a one-to-one conversation with you to make that buying decision. So it requires that they develop that skill of talking to people to present an offer and close a sale. But I recommend that because it's worth the time of talking with people, and being able to make 500 plus commissions per sale means that they don't need a lot of sales per month to reach their income goals.
Yeah.
And as they don't need a lot of sales per month, they don't need a big audience, and that's the key. So because a lot of people try to build huge audiences, or they think that they need huge audiences to be able to grow their monthly income. But if you focus on iTicket, as you don't need a lot of sales, even with a small audience, you can monetize and make good money. For example, I had a client recently make 4 iTicket sales from an audience of 500 people.
Wow.
Okay. And
Interesting.
so that's the power of iTicket. But if he was selling something low ticket, he would be making $2 per sale, and he would make $10 or $8. So that's the big difference between iTicket and low ticket. So that's why I recommend iTicket. Of course, there is a place for low ticket, and what I recommend is that people lead with iTicket first, and then if the person says I'm not ready for that type of investment, down selling with something low ticket to acquire the customer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Strategy.
But I would lead always with iTicket.
Quick question. Now that you've become quite successful with your business, does your dad still think it's a scam?
No, he believed it. And that's something I want to encourage everyone that is in a similar situation is, if you have someone telling you that it's not possible, that it's a scam, etc., focus on doing the work, do the work, show up and grow. And when you get your first sale, you will show them and they will see it's possible, and then they will stop. Okay.
Amazing. That's so inspirational, Andre. Now, if anybody wanted to contact you, where can they get in touch with you?
You can go to my Facebook group, andremarvão.com/group, goes directly to the group, or my YouTube channel, andremarvão.com/YouTube. Okay, those are the two easiest places to find my stuff.
Beautiful. We'll stick those in the show notes, won't we,
will.
Tim?
We will.
Beautiful. Awesome. Thank you
Thank you so much, Andre.
much for your time.
Thank you.
Just before you leave, what's a piece of advice to someone who is thinking about starting off in this incredible industry?
One piece of advice for someone starting. Go for it, and don't let other people's opinions stop you. And enter this game with expecting to build something for the long term instead of chasing quick wins. And that's another one to answer the question you asked a few minutes ago about what stops people from getting results. That's another big one, is people jumping online expecting to get rich tomorrow. And
Yes.
building a business takes time. It requires that we develop so many skills, and we need to have so many mindset shifts that it's not real to expect that in 2 or 3 months you are going to be making 10K a month. Okay. So jump into this expecting that you need to grow, that you need to learn, that you need to become a different person, and you are entering a journey of becoming a better version of yourself, and focus on that instead of just the money that is going to hit your bank account. Because if you focus on your inputs and becoming better and learning and developing your skills, eventually that happens naturally as a result of that. So that's a piece of advice I would give.
Andre, it has been an absolute pleasure having you on our podcast. Thank you so much. I actually feel quite inspired after all of that. That's beautiful. Tim, anything else you want to add before we bid farewell to Andre?
I'm grateful, well, apart from being grateful to Andre for coming on, I'm grateful that we have an AI summary going, because there's so many great valid points you put there. It's just like, I couldn't keep up with them. Normally I'd go, so you recommend this, this, and this, and like you had about 7 at one stage. I thought, I'm just giving up now, because hopefully it'll all be written down. But so I appreciate your time, man, and I've been following you for quite a while, and I see that you, for our audience, you add so much value. I don't know, I wouldn't compare you to anyone, but I just think you're one of the people who I think this guy just keeps offering so much value, so many live Zooms, so much generosity. Come and join this. You want this, it's free. It's like you're an inspiration, man. So I really appreciate you coming on.
Thank you.
No worries.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Andre. You have a great evening. Is it evening there?
No, day now.
No, it's morning.
Day.
It's morning.
Morning.
10 a.m.
Oh, have a lovely day.
Thank you.
Great to talk to you. Thank you so much,
again.
Andre.
Thank you for having me. Have a nice day.
No
Thank
problem.
You're very welcome. Bye.
See you.
Bye.
Oh my God, he's amazing.
Isn't he
What
good?
a wonderful, what a great guy to interview. And what value did he give?
He offered so much value there, and as I said,
he really did, and a
just
lot of
not value.
clarity.
Yeah.
A lot of clarity, which is something that I don't know about you, Tim, but I find that it's a bit lacking in this industry, is that clarity. And he was just so simple. Keep it simple. I love it. I hope our listeners got as much out of that as I have. That was amazing. And yeah, I'm great you've got the AI summary going on, because I'm going to be revisiting that.
When he was talking about so many people try things and they give up, I'm thinking, well, who would do that?
Oh my God, did you not see the grin on my face? Like, it's like, this
Are you talking to me?
Describing me. Is this me? I'm sorry, is that me? But it was really what's the word? Heartening, I guess, to see that mindset is such a big thing. Mindset and investing in yourself and showing up. Like, there are key things that we need And it really is about showing up for ourselves, because when we show up for ourselves, then the rewards come
Yes.
along. So simple in principle, but definitely a challenge to implement. But, you know, it's a growing industry, and I think it's teaching us, like Andre said, to be better versions of ourselves. And I love that. Yeah. Nice one, Andre. Thank you. Feeling great after that.